Hey, welcome back. Remember to drop a like to feed this fluffy like eating chinchilla. r/AskReddit. Redditors who have found stories / post about themselves or situations / places they were at on Reddit. What's your side of the story? I live in Tanzania and was away at the coast for a few days with my buddy, and we decided to go out to one of the local clubs. As I was sitting outside, I got chatting to this younger guy who was on holiday with his friends. He told me about how someone on Reddit had given him some advice on what to do over there and what not. That was me. I'm the reason you have to provide photo verification on either /r/Radom or /r/Amy. Can't remember which one it was. Some weirdo posted photos of me to one of those two subs and acted like the photos were them. I can't remember what was said, but the post ended up on /r/subreddit, and that's how I found it. I massaged the modes with proof that the photos were me, and I definitely didn't post them, nor did I want people commenting on my appearance. They immediately took the post down, and the catfish who posted it deleted their account. The rule for photo verification came about shortly afterwards. Extra fun fact, the photos used were stolen from my completely private Instagram, meaning it had to have been someone from my close social circle. Never found out who did it or why. I found my old roommate's Reddit, and there was a post asking for advice for her cat because he had been acting up a lot. She mentioned that he pooped on my bath mat, but she didn't think much of it because he didn't like me. But in reality, that cat was an absolute dumbass who liked me even though he was an asshole. Never figured out why he pooped on my bath mat, but offended she thought he did it to be mean to me. Edit. He peed on her laundry a few times after that, and that's when she realized he was acting up. He stopped shortly after that, but I don't think she ever figured out what was going on since she was cleaning out his litter box unscented. Normally, he just kinda stopped. But my point still stands that he was a really dumb cat. If my old roommate is reading this, I love you and I love Snickers, and you know he's dumb. Did she use scented cat litter? I used it once. It was meant to make the smells go away. My cat pooped in my handbag instead. I found a post my now ex-but at the time boyfriend had made about a girl he couldn't forget about going on dates with, and how sweet she was and how he wished he could still be seeing her. I was not the girl he was posting about, so that was fun. Laugh out loud. Now XG, I wonder why. Many years ago, I met a girl on Steam. Wasn't really that close friends with her, but she told me she was in the same city I live in. For a while we would chat daily. Nothing serious. I had a GF at the time, and I didn't even know what she looked like. It was genuinely platonic. We'd talk about video games, local restaurants we like, etc., never planning to meet or anything like that. Well, eventually she faded off. There were a few times where she was online and I said, "Hey," with no response. Then like an hour later I'd say, "Hey," again. This happened maybe 5 times over the course of 6 months. Finally she just never signed on again. Fast forward to 2 years ago, I'm reading an old classic AskReddit. What was the scariest thing you ever experienced? Thread from 2014. I see a story of this girl who has been stalked for a year. Some dude leaving face prints on her window, emailing her photos of herself taken outside, awful and invasive stuff. How was this about me? Well, she became convinced that it was me for some reason because it started happening shortly after we started talking. In this post, she told the whole backstory that was unmistakably ours. She even posted screenshots of our convos, thankfully censoring my username, where I said, "Hey," twice, describing it as the early signs of her stalker's obsession. She said she was stalked for like a year before the guy thankfully stopped. I couldn't even message her because the account was deleted by the time I found it, years after it was posted. I found a post that I believe described a coffee shop I frequent, from a barista I'm good friends with. I clicked their profile to confirm it was them. I found a description of our wedding and that it was the best wedding ever. I was charmed. Finally a wholesome one. I was on Twitter a few days ago and this guy posted about this store that refused him a refund because of Hurricane Dorian. He mentioned tertiary details that led me to believe he was a problem customer I had a couple weeks ago. We massaged each other. I confirmed it was indeed the same guy, and I called him out on the lies he told in his story. His post got locked and he got thoroughly reamed. My ex posted in r/relationships after he cheated on me. It was a very short post on an alt account. I don't even know if he had a main, but he knew I used Reddit, basically looking for sympathy and hope, confessing what he did was wrong but asking how he could fix it, and I saw it because he wanted me to see it. He left it open on my computer in a next level leak move. He left out a lot, including that he cheated multiple times and lied in counseling about it. Out of curiosity I hit refresh. It got basically no steam, but 3 comments saying they hope I left him. So I did. Laugh out loud. Power move. Love it. I have an ex who wrote a bunch of entries about how he wanted to get me back and make up for all the hurt he caused me. And could he just manifest a reason into the universe for me to text him? He lied to me for over 3 years about the existence of his wife and 2 children. I am very obviously not going to text his dumb ass. A clip from a TV show I was on 20 years ago blew up on Reddit a few years ago. It was weird, never outed myself though, to read about people talking about you. Edit. Sorry y'all, not going to dox myself on here. But since you asked, most of the comments were pretty benign, talking about my appearance, what I should or shouldn't have done. It did get me to stop lurking though, cause I really didn't know what Reddit was all about, just peripherally. Brother-in-law's wife was ranting on here about my mother-in-law, something unrelated to me entirely, and as part of the supporting argument noted that mother-in-law is constantly taking my wife and I with them on vacations but not them. What they don't know, or clearly left out, is that we split the cost of those vacations and/or pay our own way, or we buy the room next time. She seems to have a victim complex sometimes and twists scenarios to appear as the victim. Wasn't on Reddit, but someone once posted a really creepy misconnection about me on Craigslist. I was at Target with a friend and stopped at the in-store Starbucks while he checked out. The much older barista later wrote about how he knew he had feelings for me when our hands touched while he gave me my drink. My friend saw it and texted me, and I still haven't gone back to that Target years later. Sometimes I find confusing the line between creepy and cute. I have a crush on a coworker right now. If he knew that I think he's cute, would he think it was obsessive and weird? What does that depend on? I think the line is how far you take it. I have a crush on my cute, single coworker. Gonna ask them out for coffee or drinks is cute. I knew from the moment we locked eyes that we were destined to be together. Even though you're with someone, I know that I can treat you better than them if you give me a chance is creepy. Not found on Reddit, but local news station did a story about my car at the airport. I was just tired of everything in my life, so I drove south for a while, saw a sign for the Kansas City airport, left my Corvette in the parking lot, and took the next flight out. Turned out to be Fort Worth, Texas, and long story short, that's how I learned Mexican border security is basically a Marine who doesn't check bags and just waves you in without a word. This happened on Twitter and involved a good friend of mine. Last year, a friend and I were chilling at home when he read a series of tweets that was talking about some abusive and predatory men in our area. He was smiling to the names of the people accused since they were being called out until he stumbled across his name. We were both dumbfounded. How the fuck can his virgin ass be predatory? In fact, he's a really shy dude, so it was pretty obvious that he didn't do anything, but everyone was eating that bullshit up. I had to speak with the person who tweeted it out, but she was extremely arrogant, saying I'm sympathizing with a rapist because he's my friend. Days gone by with him getting death threats and shit until she tweeted out a bullshit apology saying she called out the wrong person and she's sincerely sorry about the mishap. It was an overall tough time for us both, and I'm just glad it was cleared up. TL. Drive. Friend was called out for being predatory towards woman until the person who called him out realized she called out the wrong person. Not on Reddit, but when I looked up the reviews for a retail store that I worked for, I found one about me. It was about a girl in the returns department. I was the only girl who worked there at the time. I don't remember all of it, but I do remember it said, "She looks like she hates everyone." My coworkers and I got a good laugh out of it. They weren't entirely wrong. I hated working for that company, especially in that department. I had a lot of fun, though, so I don't loathe my memories of working there. I similarly found a review while I was working at my last job that described me as good at making coffee, bad at smiling, and said I seemed frustrated about helping them. That's because there were 8 people in their group that all came in for frozen blended coffees less than 5 minutes before we closed. They then proceeded to sit in our lobby for over an hour while I tried to close up, which, technically, I wasn't allowed to do, let the customer see me closing or do anything that might think I am trying to rush them out. However, it was also against the rules to stay this late past close, and overtime was not allowed. I knew no matter what I did I was gonna get my ass chewed over this, and yeah, I was aggravated. The group then left all their trash on their table, didn't tip, and tried to order more drinks to go. When I told them we'd closed an hour ago and everything was shut down, they asked me if I could make an exception for them. I was as polite as I could, but one of them still called me a bitch on the way out, threw their cup at the trash can, missed so it splattered all over the floor, shrugged and walked out. I burst into tears as the rest of them were leaving, locked the door behind them, and tried to clean as fast as I could while my manager called the store 3 times to ask what I was still doing there and telling me to clock out because it was my own fault I wasn't done yet. Finding the review a few weeks later was the push I needed to quit that hellhole. A few years ago the lady "I'm just a horseman" was passed around. I'm not that lady, but I'm in her social circle, and the other side of the story is that the horse actually painfully stepped on her first, and the snapshot is her reaction to that. The idea that she randomly yelled and attacked the horse first without any provocation isn't true. I found my ex's Reddit account. Turns out she broke up with me because of an argument/disagreement we had. I remember specifically asking her was it because of this. She said no and gave some long-ass bullshit reason. I've learned from seeing the rest of her posts that she's pretty insane. Timid in real life. Warrior on Reddit. I actually just learned the opposite happened to me. As you can clearly see in my post in comment history, I talk about my friends and partner a decent amount. Well, one of them personally looked and found my Reddit account, started sending stuff I was saying to another mutual friend. I have talked about wanting to die and shit. I found out that this friend was doing this months after I stopped talking to them. That shit makes me not want to use this account anymore. But fuck it. If you're reading this, bruh, seriously stop. It's creepy and weird to stalk someone like that. Someone else found my ex-girlfriend's creepy fanfiction she had written about me on Reddit and gave me her user to check it out. Turns out she hadn't just written it about me here but everywhere and written letters to me which she later started to send to me with fanfiction of us fucking on the table of McDonald's. She worked there. Safe to say I stopped speaking to her. I didn't use Reddit at the time and didn't use it for a long time because I thought it was weird because of that incident. Edit. When I say fanfiction I mean erotica, but it wasn't consenting erotica and it was just as creepy as some of the fanfics out there, if not creepier because I am a real person that she actually knew. Edit 2. Thanks for the gold, kind stranger. Thanks for watching. Remember, every like puts Mario Chinchilla closer to finding his gold coins.